Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? XFL season has come to a close, and the Saints later this week are going to have their rookie minicamp. And as is customary during rookie minicamp, a lot of times they'll have tryouts. So they'll invite players who aren't on a team that are free agents, maybe didn't sign an undrafted free agent contract, or guys that are veteran free agents. They'll invite them to come for a tryout at rookie minicamp. Put them through the workout. Your coaches are out there. Sometimes if they're good enough, you offer them a contract. And if not, then no harm, no foul. They go about their way and find another team maybe to catch on with. So XFL season has come to an end, and the Saints have invited 3 players who just finished their XFL season to rookie camp for a tryout this weekend. They are offensive lineman Sage Doxtater, quarterback Harrison Frost, and defensive tackle Jack Heflin. So we're going to get to each of them. Let's start with Sage Doxtater. And I actually don't know if I'm saying it correctly. I mean, he may say Doxtater, but I do remember the name because last year he signed with the Saints as an undrafted rookie free agent. Out of New Mexico State, guy played a ton of games in his time in New Mexico State with the Aggies. He played in 48 games over 5 years there at New Mexico State. He did, and this was the problem. Like, injuries were a concern. So he missed time with an elbow injury when he was with the Saints. The Saints had him on the. They signed him as an undrafted rookie free agent, and then missed time with an elbow injury. Spent time on the practice squad. This past season, he started 5 games at left tackle for the Houston Roughnecks in the XFL, but missed half the season with another injury. So that's kind of been the issue. Remember, offensive line for the New Orleans Saints is an issue that they have to address and address toward the future. You really hope that Trevor Penning wins the starting left tackle job. You drafted him last year in the first round. You want Trevor Penning to win your starting left tackle job and to beat out James Hurst. Ryan Ramczyk is your starting right tackle. You know that. You took Nick Saldiveri in this year's draft out of Old Dominion. He's going to be an interior lineman you hope makes the team and can be a backup and potentially, maybe next year, take a job if Andrus Peat and or Cesar Ruiz isn't back. Saints did not pick up Ruiz's 5th-year option, and Andrus Peat agreed to a lesser contract this year. It's very likely his last year in New Orleans. So the Saints are going to be looking for offensive linemen, and there's a very obvious need at tackle. Your backup center is Cesar Ruiz. You have Calvin Throckmorton, who's played admirably as an interior backup. You need backup tackles. Now, maybe Trevor Penning is that, and if he beats out James Hurst, but you can never have too much depth and too much competition. So bringing Sage Doxtater back after playing the season in the XFL, it's certainly a good idea. Quarterback Harrison Frost is another player that they're bringing in. Harrison Frost spent this season with the Seattle Sea Dragons of the XFL. Here's the tricky part about Harrison Frost. So he played. He started his college career at Mercer and then transferred to West Georgia. And he was, second team all region. I guess that's what they play. And I don't know if it's Division II or whatever it is. And then he was the backup with the Seattle Sea Dragons. Threw for over 300 yards a game in college. 50 touchdown passes. So chucked the ball around. Really good player in college at a lower level. In the XFL, but he was with the Sea Dragons behind Ben DiNucci and then Steven Montez. So he didn't really play. Obviously, we talked about the Saints letting Jake Luton go last week, and the reason that was relevant is because when you go into camp, you're going to need camp arms, right? Like we talked about last year, you went into camp with, you knew Jameis was your starter, Andy Dalton was your backup, you drafted Ian Book, so he was your number 3, and remember, they went and signed Costello from Mississippi State, who blown up LSU back in 2020, as a camp arm. So that's why it was a little surprising letting Jake Luton go, because you just figured he'd have been the camp arm. Maybe that's a guy that's going to try to make a roster somewhere else. Bringing in Harrison Frost for a workout is very likely just having another quarterback there who can throw passes and run this offense here during this rookie minicamp. It's unlikely that he's going to make this team or have a camp invite, but we'll see. The other one that I think is really interesting to watch is because he's a guy with NFL experience and is at a position of great need for New Orleans. And it's Jack Heflin. So Jack Heflin started his college career at Northern Illinois, then went to Iowa, and has actually played with the Green Bay Packers. And then spent this year in the XFL with the Houston Roughnecks, the same as Sage Doxtater. Again, I like the fact that this is a guy who has been in the NFL. This is a guy who just got playing experience and playing time in the XFL and was obviously a major college football player as well. And at 6'4", 315, you're also talking about a guy that is a big interior defensive player. And I'll say this again for the New Orleans Saints. You basically lost your entire interior defensive line to free agency. David Onyemata's with the Falcons, Shai Tuttle's with the Panthers, Kentavious Street is gone. You lost all them guys. You went and signed 2 in free agency, and you used your first-round pick on Brian Brzee. Awesome. You're not done. You're still not done. And we went through the available players at positions of need that the Saints are looking at, like tight end, defensive tackle. There's not a ton of really obvious free agent players at defensive tackle that the Saints could add at this point. So you may have to find a diamond in the rough. So if there's, of these 3 players, sure, Sage Doxtater is one worth watching because he was with your team last year. They like him. It's like, hey, go get some experience, go play, get on the field in the XFL, come back, we'll see. Harrison Frost is likely just an arm to have another guy out there to throw passes at practice. And Jack Heflin's a guy who's played in the NFL and was XFL named to the All XFL defensive team. So played very well during this XFL season, and that's a position of need where maybe that's a young guy who's getting better who could help you. So that's the one I would tell you that's worth keeping an eye on this week at Saints camp to see if they do sign him to a contract and ultimately bring him to training camp as you go through these offseason workouts and ultimately into camp this summer. So Saints will hit the field for rookie minicamp later this week. 3 new faces trying out from the XFL. And I'd also, as a random aside, 2 quick things. Number 1, I do think it's going to be interesting to see if the XFL becomes a breeding ground for the NFL. Guys who were on the bubble of NFL rosters that go to the XFL, play, continue to develop, and then end up getting a foothold in the NFL. That's 1. 2, the one thing that's a potential drawback is when you play in the XFL. I mean, you're playing winter, spring, so this is a time when most guys who play football, their bodies are resting. Instead, these guys are playing a 10-game season, and you're not going to have a long offseason because they go straight from the XFL into minicamp, then OTAs, then minicamp start, or full camp starts in July, and then you're into your preseason. So, these dudes are not going to have a break physically from the season, having just played a 10-game XFL season. So does that negatively affect some of the XFL guys? Something just worth filing away. We'll all learn. We're going to learn this together as it all continues to develop and transpire. Thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.